Hey there again. Sorry it's been a while. I got caught up with a number of issues, but alas, here it is, part 2. If you haven't watched the first one, check that out before this one. This tutorial will show you some of the tricks I use to make and the effects on my movies that I make, so yeah. However, some of these effects you will need a professional editing program like Adobe After Effects or Pinnacle Studios, or something along those lines. But I'll tell you when you need one of those for a certain effect. So I just wanted to alert you, so no surprise. And to make it better, I'll do all the pivot accessible tricks first. That can be done with what you have right now if you don't have a professional thing, so yeah. In my Super Stick Bros series, I often made use of a moving background as the characters moved across the screen. There are two ways to do this. First, you will need to rip some background sprites off the interwebs. Then you will need to cut the background pieces into individual sprites and, yada yada yada, things I taught you in the first tutorial. So, let's say we want a stretch of ground. I'm not going to recommend this, but, well, here's what I mean. Like, if you have just like one block, and then you have another one, you line them up like this, and you do this for your ground, as you can see, it will take a little bit of time, so I do not recommend this. This is why I suggest this other way. No? Okay. The suggested way I do is to make it, in Paint, one long continuous stretch of ground, like this. So when you import it into Pivot, it's already a finished one, so that you can move it. If you did it the other way, you'd have to move each sprite each and every frame. That would kind of get annoying, wouldn't it? So, I mean, it would take a while. I mean, you want to finish your animation before you die, right? So, anyway, when you do this, you would want to create at least two. And what I mean by that is, if you have two, sorry. Oh, where was I? Oh yeah. With the other, you can easily fill in that. You'll have this. I'm very word slurred today. So anyway, you would have this weird blank area, right? So you'd want to fill it in with that sort of ordeal, and that way you can do that. Plus, doing this way gives you responsibility for only two sprites to move. It's like you can do this and then move it over here. And then you can just like take this one and then move it over this way, somewhere over here, so that when this one runs out of space, it'll just continue like an endless loop. Oh, which reminds me. See how I kind of dragged this little orange dot moving thing off the screen? It's unclickable. But there is a way to do it. Just scroll your mouse wheel like, you can tell now because this thing's blue on. Yeah, now this one's selected. Now if you press center, it is now under your command again. Back in control. Power to the player. Enough said. Alright. So this goes for just about any sprite. Oh my gosh. Of all... Well, anyway, where was I? Sorry, I had a weird phone call from someone, like, in Bermuda. I asked him where he was. Anyway, where was... Oh, yeah, that's right. Anyway, this goes for any sprite you want to animate, like a block or tree or something. So you just move it like the ground. Make sure that they move at about the same rate. That's the important part. Otherwise, it will look weird. You got your trees going fast. You got your mountains running faster than your trees. It looks weird. Oh yeah, and that also reminds me, when you're you got to do parallax scrolling. And parallax scrolling is where, well, imagine yourself driving in a car, okay? You look out the window, you see mountains in the background, and then the mountains are like just moving very slowly, hardly at all, because they're farther away, and yet trees just go. Yeah. And also the same thing goes for like the moon or the sun. When you look at it, it looks like it's not moving, but it really is. It's just so far away, it doesn't look like it's moving. So that's parallax scrolling, my brief tutorial. Alright, for the next part, you will need like professional stuff, and now we're talking like green screens and stuff like that. So if you think you have something that is good, Windows Movie Maker doesn't count. Check for Chroma King or Color King or something like that. If you have that, you are set. In my special New Year's Eve tips, I invited all my favorite characters to a party. This is the same technique sort of used in movies like Space Jam. What you do is when you start a new file, whatever, delete. So you'd have a new one. Just ignore these things right here. What you do is when you have a new file, change the background color to like blue or green, like this color. This is kind of a good color, I mean. Then put whatever figure you want in front of it. So like this, add a few frames, and then you have it. Save. Do animated GIF right there. Yeah, not Abby, because he's not finishing that, Peter Bone. Alright. Okay, after a little bit of editing magic, I've gotten over here to the program I was using. Alright, so we got this picture. I used a different one because I didn't actually save that one. I forgot. I know I'm a hypocrite, but it's same concept. Alright, so we have a little doodad here, and I put it in video 2, which is above this one, and I'll show you why. So we'll do this one, effects. I'm going to add in King. Let's add, oh wait, yeah, King, and then I just added in color key there. Just bear with me, it'll be the same thing, roughly. So then I drag the eyedropper over to this color, add the coloring tolerance up a little, virtually invisible. Alright, now I know you're not able to see him, but if we add in another right here, oh, whoa. Okay then, let's not use this one, delete. Sorry about that. Where the heck did that picture come from? It's not like I put it in there intentionally or anything. Okay, so now you got a realistic looking picture in the background with a semi-realistic looking guy in front of it. No, alright, never mind about that. But it's the same concept. You can use it for moving animations too. Just the key thing is to make sure that the color that you're using as the sprite or figure or whatever is not the same color as the background you'd be using. Like if you're using blue, you don't want to use a blue figure, otherwise it'd disappear. Or if you're using green, you don't want to use a green figure, otherwise it'll go. So yeah. Okay. This about wraps it up. Remember, I want to see your videos. Post video responses to this video of what you've learned to do in these tutorials. Thanks for subscribing, because that is all I think. That's the only people I think that are watching this. And don't forget to get a digital converter before your screen goes blank on February 17th. Yay, commercial endorsement.